Hello students. So in the previous lectures I have discussed about all the problems that are encountered in measuring a living system, and you have seen that there are various problems, there are various special problems that are encountered, and there is a large amount of interaction also that exists between the instrumentation system and the living system, which means, as I've already told you in my previous lectures, that how the introduction of transducer inside the human body affects the measurement, either maybe because of the motion of that transducer, or because of the noise generated in the transducer, or because of the physical size of the transducer, or various other factors. There is a large amount of interaction which is existing between this instrumentation system, or you can say the transducer, that is being inserted into the living system and the living system. There is a large amount of interaction between the instrumentation system and the living system, and because of all the special problems that I have already discussed in obtaining data from a living system, so because of these reasons it is essential that the living system on whom the measurements are made, that is the living system on whom whose physiological variables we are going to measure, that living system should be considered an integral part of the instrumentation system. So before going further into the detail, let me discuss what is instrumentation system. As you all know what is instrumentation system, it is actually a set of components, or you can say set of instruments or set of equipments which are used for measuring a physical quantity and to represent the data or the information so obtained regarding that physical quantity in a meaningful manner that can be read and interpreted by human beings. So this is the work of instrumentation system, or this is what instrumentation system is. In some cases, instrumentation system might include a component that will provide a stimulus to the process whose variable or whose physical quantity the instrumentation system is going to measure. And there may also be some mechanism for automatic control of certain processes within the system of the entire system. So this is what instrumentation system is. And if I tell you in terms of biomedical instrumentation field, then as you have seen, there are various problems that are encountered in measuring physiological variables from a living system, and because of the large amount of interaction existing between the instrumentation system and the living system, it is very much necessary to consider the living system as an integral part of the instrumentation system. Which means, in the very previous lecture I told you to go through the physiological systems of the living system, and that's why it is a necessity to go and to learn the physiological systems of the living system, because for designing a device, or because for designing a biomedical instrument, or devising a biomedical instrument, designing a biomedical instrument, we need to know the physiological systems of the human body, because that living system is an integral part of the instrumentation system. We have to design taking care of the human body, or taking care of the living system. We have to take it as an important factor, because if we design or devise an instrumentation system without considering the human body or the living system, then we are going to face the number of problems. We are going to encounter a number of problems that I have already discussed in my previous lectures. So to minimize those problems, it is very much necessary to consider the living system to be an integral part of the instrumentation system for designing for getting meaningful results from the living system. And moreover, for that, if a living system is an integral part of the instrumentation system, it means we need to know the internal characteristics of that living system, which means we need to know in detail all the physiological systems of the living system. Now the overall system, which includes both the living system and the instrumentation required for the measurement of physiological variables of the living system, is called the man instrument system. That's why the name man instrument system, because in the instrumentation system here man is the integral part. In normal instrumentation system, what you do, you measure a physical quantity of a process using the instrumentation system. In normal instrumentation system, what you do, you use the instrumentation system to measure a physical quantity of a process. Here what we are doing, here we are using the instrumentation system to measure a physiological variable of a living system. And because it is a living system and it behaves in a very unpredictable way, if we are going to introduce a transducer, if we are going to introduce an instrumentation system, so we have to consider this living system as an integral part of the instrumentation system, and then we should design the instrumentation system so that we can get the meaningful results from the from the biomedical instrumentation system. Now, what are the basic objectives? As we all know, the basic you might know this thing, that the basic objectives of any instrumentation system may fall into one of the following major categories, that is information gathering, diagnosis, evaluation, monitoring, control. So what is information gathering? So the what is this objective? The basic objective of any instrumentation system, it may fall into one of these major categories. So what is information gathering? So the when the instrumentation system is used for collecting information about natural phenomena or other variables that help a man to satisfy his knowledge about himself and the surroundings, is what information gathering is. So any instrumentation system which does this, which serves this purpose, will fall under this objective. That is, any instrumentation system which is used for gathering information to satisfy the knowledge of a man regarding his surroundings, regarding himself, will fall under this objective. The second objective is diagnosis. So the first one was information gathering. The second one is diagnosis. So when the instrumentation system is used to detect and correct the malfunction of the system which is being measured. Again I am telling you what happens. A system on which the measurements are done, or you can say a system on which the instrumentation system we are going to apply, if that system is suffering from any malfunction, so the instrumentation system which is used to detect, the instrumentation system which is used to detect and correct the malfunction of the system which is being measured will fall under this objective. Next is evaluation. So evaluation, again the instrumentation system under this objective, which instrumentation systems will fall. So those instrumentation systems which are used to determine the ability of a system to meet its functional requirement. So this is what the purpose of those instruments which come under this category, under this objective. That is, these instruments, they are used for quality control purpose, or you can say proof of performance purpose. That is, they determine the ability of a system to to check whether the system is meeting its functional requirements or not. Next objective is monitoring. So those instrumentation systems will fall under this objective. They are Which instrumentation systems? Those instrumentation systems which are used to monitor some process or operation in order to obtain continuous or periodic information about the state of the system being measured. Next is control. So in control, in this objective, the instrumentation system is sometimes used to automatically control the operation of a system based on changes in one or more of the internal parameters or in the output of the system. So these are the 5 objectives and these are the 5 basic objectives, and any instrumentation system may fall into one of these major categories. And the general field of biomedical instrumentation system, it involves, so initially these are the objectives of a general instrumentation system, and for biomedical instrumentation system it involves all these objectives that I have discussed. For example, the biomedical instrumentation for biomedical research, that is the instrumentation system that is used for biomedical research, it can generally be viewed as information gathering instrumentation. That is those instruments will fall under the information gathering objective, although it sometimes includes some monitoring and control devices. Then instrumentation which is used to help the physician, means the biomedical instrumentation which is used to help the physician in the diagnosis of disease and other disorders, will fall under this diagnosis objective. Then we have similar instrumentation which is used in the evaluation of the physical condition of patients in routine physical examinations. And also special instrumentation systems are used for monitoring of patients who are undergoing surgery or who are under intensive care. So this was all about the objective of biomedical instrumentation system. Next, in my next lecture, as I've already introduced you, why do we need a man instrumentation system, man instrument system, what is man instrument system, and what are the objectives of this biomedical instrumentation system. Next, in my next lecture, I'm going to introduce you to the components of man instrument system. I will be explaining in detail. So I'm ending this class here. Thank you.